It is 101 days till the man burns, and today we're talking about surviving dust storms at Burning Man. Because the dust storms can get pretty bad, so you're going to want to be a bit prepared for it. So 2 things that you already probably know you should have if you've been watching these videos or kind of reading anything about Burning Man: dust masks and goggles. Because once that dust gets going, you're going to want something to protect your eyes and your lungs. For goggles, what you're really looking for is something that seals really well around your eyes so there's no holes around the edges for the dust to get in. And if it has any ventilation system, it's a unidirectional ventilation, so that just means it's not going to steam up inside your goggles, hopefully. But because it's unidirectional, it's only going out, so the dust can't get in. If you're trying to get some goggles and you're not really sure where to start, motocross goggles are great because they generally are for all the dust that's coming at you while you're doing motocross. You can also get sunglasses that have like a foamy sponge type material around the edges that create that seal. I haven't tried them myself. I think if you got them with an elastic strap so that you could tighten it and they would be quite tight on your face, they could work, but you might have problems with them steaming up. If any of you have tried out those kind of goggles, sunglasses things, let us know in the comments how they work, whether they really steam up or whether they are good to go. With dust masks, it's a bit tricky because the best dust mask is the one that you're going to wear. You know, these full-on dust masks, they're great. They're what I would suggest you wear. But I know that they're quite bulky. They can be a bit of a pain to drag around with you. So generally if people bring them, they end up putting them in their packs, and then, you know, if a dust storm happens, they have to try and find it in their pack, which isn't great. You really want something you can, you know, put on straight away. So even though I would suggest getting a proper dust mask, I would also suggest bringing along some kind of smaller things that are going to be much easier for you to put on, that are going to be less bulky, just in case you decide that you don't want to carry around your full-on dust mask. A lot of people go for keffiyehs or bandanas, things like that, which, you know, really they don't protect you that much from the dust because the particles are so small. They're like 0.3 microns, I think. And I did some investigating into what kind of filter is the best filter, and I think that getting like a mask that's rated P100 is kind of what you're looking for. But if you are going to get a mask, make sure you bring along some spare filters as well. And if you're going to be wearing keffiyehs and things, bear in mind that they will get like full of dust, so you'll want to kind of give them a bit of a wash or a shake out, or bring some extra ones so that you have some clean ones. Because it's just going to be gross by day 3 if you only have one and it's just like full of dust, and then, you know, every time you put it on, you're just going to be breathing in that dust. Like with the goggles, for the mask you want something that fits quite well on your face. You don't want lots of gaps where all of the dust can get in. That's why sometimes the like painter's masks or surgeon masks aren't so great, because they don't really create a good seal. So if you are going to go for something like that, if you see the painter's mask that has kind of the pinchy strip at the top that goes across your nose that you can pinch down to help hold it in place, those are going to be better than the just standard elasticated ones. Okay, so now that you're protected, what do you do if you are stuck in a whiteout? Obviously you put on your goggles and your mask, but then, you know, if you are like out on the playa or something, you're kind of in the middle of nowhere, you don't know how long this dust storm's going to last. Probably you don't want to just stand there in the middle of it waiting for it to pass. So the best thing to do is head for some kind of shelter. So if you're out by art or something, you might have art near you that you can go and just like shelter under for a bit. You could head back to the city, go and find a nice camp to hang out in. But be very careful. You are not supposed to ride any kind of vehicle. You know, all of the art cars should stop. Anyone on bicycles should get off them and walk with them, because obviously you can't see very far in front of you. It would be so easy to have an accident. But there are cases where obviously that doesn't happen. People will still be riding around on their bikes. So just be a little bit cautious, you know, pay attention to sounds and as far as you can see, to make sure that there is nothing heading towards you that is not going to see you in time to stop. Hopefully wherever you are when a dust storm hits you, you're going to be oriented, you're going to know which kind of direction you need to go in to get back to the city or to get to some kind of shelter. So head in that direction, and if you aren't oriented, if you are just like, I don't know where I am, I don't know which direction to go, I mean, I guess you just kind of have to pick a direction and hope that you end up somewhere good. It's best to orient yourself on immovable things as well. Things like the street signs, people move them, people steal them sometimes. I really wish they wouldn't, but it happens. so it's not always the best way to orient yourself if visibility is very low. So if you're trying to head back to your own camp, it's best to use kind of immovable things as your navigation. So, you know, that huge theme camp that's at the end of your street, that's probably not going to move. So, you know, if you can find that, you are going to know you're on the right street. You don't have to head back to your own camp when there's a dust storm though. It's not like, oh, there's a whiteout, like that's it, the day is over, just go and like hide out in your camp until it finishes. You know, there'll still be plenty going on. There'll be lots of people just hanging out in theme camps waiting for it to pass. So, you know, it's a great time to just go and see what's going on. Go and hang out in some theme camps, find something fun to do. It's probably not a time when you want to be like wandering around checking out all of the theme camps. But, you know, if you have one that you like, if there's one nearby that looks fun, you know, go and hang out in there, see what it's all about, see what's going on, have some fun. You know, you don't need to go and like just sit in your tent until it's over. Burning Man has its own radio station, 94.5. So if you do get stuck in a dust storm and you've got a radio, then you can stick it to 94.5 and they will give you updates on it. Because it can be nice to just know kind of how long it's gonna last. So I hope this was helpful, guys. If any of the rest of you have any tips for what to do in a dust storm, how to survive, let us know in the comment section below. And if you see me at Burning Man this year, then feel free to come and say hi to me. Bye, guys.